Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tam Hadevamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamam Prapadye Om Shanta Shanta Shanti Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanakanaha Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sankapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohadvanta Divakaraya Bhagavatpada Vidham Vibhrate Tasmai Bhashyakute Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. How is it to be comprehended that karma, which is responsible for binding a person, can ever become also the means to the freedom from bondage? Because it is the karma now which is bound to bring its karma phala, its result, the fruit of the action, to be experienced by the doer. And therefore, as a result, the cycle of birth, life after life, is ensured by the karma. And therefore, in this case, karma becomes responsible for binding the person in this cycle of samsara. Then how can it ever become the cause for liberation? Which Shri Krishna Bhagavan is saying that yes, you cannot give up the karma, because we have the karma can be given up only by a person who is totally bereft of all desires and has just one desire, and that is the desire to know the truth. If this is the only prevalent desire and the person is not motivated, not prompted by any other desire in life, even unconsciously or subconsciously, then only the person is qualified to give up the karma. Or the other person who can give up the karma is the one who is enlightened, the one who has woken up to his nature of being the infinite consciousness existence. Only these are the two people who are qualified to give up the karma. And Arjuna, therefore, let there not be any claim that I should be giving up karma. No, just desire for moksha is not the only qualifying condition. The condition which would qualify for sarva karma sannyasa is along with the desire for moksha, there should be intense vairagya, which means that putra, vitta, and loka, all these three objects should never even in dream also should allure the person. Not even in dream should allure the person. Then only that the person is qualified for sarva karma sannyasa. Arjuna, now you wanting to take sarva karma sannyasa is not because that you have discovered yourself to be endowed with such intense vairagya. You may have an intense desire, an earnest and honest, sincere desire for moksha. That makes you a seeker, that makes you a mumukshu. But this mumuksha will become fruitful only if it is supported, only if it is strengthened by presence of vairagya. And before you arrived on this battlefield, you certainly had the desire for the kingdom, etc., to claim back what was lost from you, what was snatched from you unjustly. You never before have thought that, what will I do with putra, vitta, and loka? This question also did not occur to you. Now suddenly that you want to give up karma, and you have found that yes, when a person is wanting to have moksha, he can give up karma. Now you have found an excuse, and are you going to use this excuse to escape from your duty? No, Arjuna, you cannot do that, because it is not going to be of any help to you. It is not even going to take you to moksha. It is definitely, in fact, it is going to take you downwards. It will spiral you downwards. And therefore, instead of this, if a person does what he's supposed to do, if he does his own duty, then such a person will be able to take to the path of moksha with more intensity. And this karma, then the duty, the kartavyam karma that he does will also become his cause for moksha. Now the question was, how can karma in any which ways become the cause for moksha? In fact, for fructification, you need to give it up. But you are saying that it does. And therefore now Shri Krishna Bhagavan has said, which we have seen in the last class that we held, in the verse number 9, Bhagavan said, kindly repeat the verse, Yajñarthat karmano nyatra, Yajñarthat karmano nyatra, Lokoyam karma bandhanaha, Lokoyam karma bandhanaha, Tadartham karma kaunteya, Tadartham karma kaunteya, Mukta sanga samachara, Mukta sanga samachara. Karma which is performed for Ishvara, as dedicated to Ishvara, as a worship of Ishvara, becomes the cause for moksha. Whereas karma done it with no matter what a noble motive you may have, or it could just be a motive to earn wealth or pleasures or name and fame and glory, etc. Yet all that karma will become bandhan karaka, will become the cause for bondage. So therefore, karma done with any other intention other than the intention to serve God becomes the cause of bondage. And now over here, when you are doing your duty as a whatever, as a husband, as a father, as an employer, as an employee, as a son, in whatever capacity, when you recognize yourself as some person and then understand the duty and take up that responsibility, and not only that much, but when you perform it as with an understanding that this is how Ishvara is to be worshipped, now that karma becomes your cause for liberation. Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. And therefore, O Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, do the karma for the sake of God without being attached, without hankering for the fruits of action. Proceed ahead on the path of moksha. Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So therefore, do this duty without any expectation, without being attached to the karma phala. Karma phala being putra, vitta and loka. Then why are you doing the karma? Because it is my duty. It is my duty. This is my kartavyam, and hence I am doing it. Last time we had paused at a point where a question was raised, as in the original shloka, we do not come across the word Ishvara. We come across the word Yashyam, doing the karma for the sake of Yashyam or Yajnaha. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra. Then what allows us to understand that the word yajna is not a fire ritual in this context, but has the meaning Ishvara. So now it is said by the Veda itself, the meaning of word yajna is yajna vai Vishnu. What is yajna? That all pervasive Ishvara is called as yajna. Vishnu means the one who pervades everything. Veveshtiti Vishnu, the one who pervades everything. Veveshti iti Vishnu. Iti Shravanad Yajnasya Shri Vishnoho Parameshwarasya Artham Santushti Nimittam Yat Karma Kriyate Vaidikam Tad Yajnartham Iti Uchate. What kind of karma is called as for the sake of God? For the sake of Vishnu, it is said, Vishnu Parameshwarasya Artham, that what is done for the sake of God, meaning Santushti Nimittam, for the sake of God means so that may God be pleased and may God be satisfied. And by the word God over here, it means that which is the very abhinna nimittopadana karanam of this world, non-separate material and the effective cause. Abhinna nimittopadana karanam. By that virtue, now everything over here that surrounds you, animate and inanimate, is nothing but God in that form. And therefore, now what is your relationship to the world? With the world, what is your relationship? The relationship is that of God and the devotee. And therefore, in whatever way now you are going to serve, even if you are going to water a pot in a plant, water a plant in a pot, that is how you are serving the God who is standing in front of you in form of this plant. So everything over here, animate and inanimate, good and bad, is nothing but Ishvara. Now, what defines how are you going to serve? In the capacity that you can serve. If you're standing in front of someone who, in capacity of a father, and this fellow is your son, advise him, reprimand him, tell him what is right, what is wrong, give him the right set of values to live. Now, this is how by doing so, you are worshipping God. Worshipping over here does not mean that you're some son, wife, everybody is moving about with a thali of chandan and putting on everybody's forehead and then immediately start Vishnu Sahasranam. No, by performing your duty. And this is how Ishvara is served. Parameshwarasyartham santushti nimittam yat karma kriyate vaidikam. And that means that karma which is sanctioned by the Veda in accordance to, which is in tandem with dharma. Vaidikam tad yajnartham iti uchyate. That kind of karma is called as yajnartham, for the sake of God, dedicated to God. Tasmad yajnarthat karmano nityad ishvara priti heto anyatra kamyadau कर्मणीयम लोकोधिकारी ब्राह्मणादि कर्म बंधन कर्मेव बंधनम जन्मादेः निबंधनम हेतु यस्य स कर्म निबंधनो भवति. So anything that is done with any other motive other than wanting to serve God now becomes the cause for bondage. Now becomes bandha hetu. Okay, that means the other than the nitya naimittika karma, the kartavya karma, that is obligatory duty, the kamya etc., the kamya karma etc. will become the cause of bondage. Karmeva bandhanam janmadehe nibandhanam hetu yasya sakarma karma bandhano bhavati vihitakarena va kamyena nishiddhyena निषिद्धेन वा कृतेन कर्मणो नरो बंधवान भवति. Now understand vihita karanena. Now by not doing what is prescribed, vihita akaranena will become vihita karanena. By not doing what is prescribed to be done, by not doing what one is supposed to do, what you are supposed to do becomes your responsibility, becomes your duty, becomes the kartavyam, kartum yogyam, and that's why it is kartavyam. So vihita karanena va, by not doing what one is ought to do, or by doing along with doing the nitya karma also, doing the kamya karma. Kamya karma meaning the karma meant for fulfillment of desires. And that kamya karma also understand, this is a very important point that is of discussion, and that is that the kamya karma just does not mean doing anything for the sake of fulfilling the desire. The desire may be there, but the Shastra, the scriptures tell you in what way it should be done. I have a desire, let us say somebody has a desire for wealth, vitta. So obviously he has a desire for wealth. So wealth, I require wealth, go and loot a bank. Yeah? Let there be a heist. That is no. It means there is a legitimate way of doing it. Even when you want money, or you want pleasures, or you want security, or you want popularity and fame and glory and all these things, there is a way of doing it. There is a way of doing it. And the Shastra now shows you what is an appropriate way of even fulfilling the desire. And that's why there is Kamya Karma, because there is Kamana, and the karma done in order to fulfill the desire in a scripturally sanctioned manner is called as Kamya Karma. Okay? Not any karma just done only for the sake of fulfilling desire is not called as Kamya Karma. It will be coming under the category of Kamya Karma only when the karma is meant to fulfill the desire in a scripturally sanctioned manner. Remember this, this will only become Kamya Karma. Okay? Kamya Karma. By not doing what you are supposed to do. And what kind of karma becomes bandhana karaka karma is now to be understood. Doing your kartavya karma with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, with the understanding that it is meant to, as your offering to Ishvara, karma done with any other motive, any other intention, any other understanding other than this understanding becomes the cause of bondage. Then what is the other things? Whether it is missing out what you are supposed to do, vihita karanena. Why did you miss it out? Because I was doing something else. That vihitam I could not do because I was something else. And obviously that's why it will be either doing something that is kamya or doing something that is nishiddha. By not doing what is prescribed, adjoined, and by doing something that is what do they call nishiddha? Nishiddha means prohibited. That what is, don't do this, don't kill. So this fellow says, okay, I will do that. And that is the reason why nishiddhena va kritena karmana naro bandhavan bhavati. The person becomes one with how one carrying the bondage, bandhavan bhavati. What pratyay means vala. The one carrying the bondage. Natu Ishvara Prityai Kriyamanena Karmana. But he will not be carrying the bondage if the karma is done only for propitiation of Ishvara. And therefore, remember how before even talking to somebody or doing anything or any other, before you begin your day, sit in your bed. And even before you interact with anyone, just for a minute, let there be this prayer that, Lord, you will be coming to me in several forms today. May my every action be appropriate may my every action be becoming that of a devotee. It should be suitable. So, it can be your son, wife, people around, neighbors, and various things that you are animate, inanimate, even the way you are holding the pen or pencil in your hand, everything is your contact with Ishvara. Everything is your contact with Ishvara, even the way when you get up from the bed and fold your blanket. The way you step on the ground, the way you keep your slippers, everything is your interaction with Ishvara. Animate and inanimate, this entire world is Ishvara. So before you get and step on the ground and start interacting with the world, remember that the whole world is nothing but Ishvara coming to meet you in different forms. And when you go to bed and you close your day, at that time also close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes not to go to sleep, but close your eyes and you say, Lord, may this day and every action that I have done is offered at your feet. And then hit the pillow. And also over there, if you want to, you can tell yourself, here now, I'm going to rest in the lap of my Lord. Every anxiety, every worry, everything I'm leaving at the feet of my Lord, and I'm going to sleep. I'm going to be one with the Lord. Then leave the body, leave the indriyas, even the ego, and over there, that what you are is already one with Ishvara. The Prash is one with Ishvara. This is the way you do your prayer in the beginning of the day and end your day similarly with this prayer. And so, न tu Ishvara prityai kriyamanena karmana tat karma yanna bandhaya. Now this is that karma. This is a smriti, a portion of the smriti, 1/4 of a shloka that has been brought by Swami Shankaranandji Maharaj from some smriti which is not mentioned. Tat karma yan bandhaya, yan na bandhaya. Yeah, tat karma. That is what is actually that karma which cannot create bondage. Iti smaranat Ishvararadhanatmakam karma abandhakam tad anyattu bandhakam ityarthaha. When it is said that it is the karma done for the sake of Ishvara is not a karma creating bondage, then what is the flip side of the coin? Karma done with any other intention, any other motive other than offering to the Ishvara is the cause of bondage. Correct? And therefore, tad anyattu bandhakam ityarthaha. Tataha tadartham Ishvara prityartham cha avashyam mukta sangha Halabhisandhi rahito bhutva vihitam karma samachara samyak anutishta. And therefore, now you do definitely avashyam without any option. You do the karma for the sake of Ishvara, mukta sangaha, by becoming mukta sangaha, free from any attachment. Sangha means attachment, free from any. Well, what do you mean by that? Free from attachment means what? Free from halabhisandhi rahito bhutva. What is that meaning of mukta sangha? Halabhisandhi rahito bhutva vihitam karma samachara. Do what you're supposed to do, and samachara means samyak anutishta. Perform it with commitment and with perfection, with full dedication. Okay? Tena tushteshvara prasadat. By that, Ishvara will be pleased. Ishvara's heart will melt for you. Tushta Ishvara Prasada Shuddhatma San. Thus by Ishvara's prasad, by the grace of Ishvara, Shuddhatma San, you shall become, your mind shall become free from every form of impurity. San Jnanam Prapya, you will attain knowledge, and Mukto Bhavishyasi. You will attain knowledge and shall be liberated. This is the meaning of this shloka number 9. So we will repeat the shloka once again and proceed further. Yajnarthat karmano nyatra, yajnarthat karmano nyatra, lokoyam karma bandhana loka tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara mukta samachara purvam नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धये मिथ्याचारत्व निवृत्तये शरीर यात्रा सिद्धये च अवश्यम कर्म कर्तव्यम इति उक्त्वा. Now so far Shankaranandji is just bringing you a synopsis of the last few verses. Karma needs to be done. Yes, karma needs to be done. By whom? By Mumukshu. What kind of Mumukshu is he? He is having a desire for liberation, yet he finds that sometimes he is rattled by desires. Okay? Sometimes he is rattled by desires. And therefore he says, now, there is some impurity which needs to be dealt with. Not that after taking to sannyas, you strive for vairagyam. No. Such sannyas, there is nothing like, no provision for this kind of sannyas, where the person has become a sannyasi and now I'm striving for vairagyam, hey, this is not something, you better be doing karma yoga, because in order to have vairagyam, you have karma yoga. Sannyasa is not meant for you to gather vairagyam. You should be taking to sannyasa only if the vairagyam was present in ample quantity with you. Not that you are struggling for vairagyam sincerely. Hey, no. This is a wastage of that opportunity of sannyas. In fact, you have wasted the opportunity as a human being, because you had the opportunity of doing the karma yoga, which could have given you vairagya. Hey, instead of that, you gave up the karma, which was the means of getting to it. And therefore, now do the karma. So by the virtue that you are a mumukshu and you are very, very sincere, you have it in your heart and you have discovered, no, though this is true that knowing the self is the only real thing in this, the ultimate desire, the ultimate thing to be attained, yet I have desires, for other things, which is now going to be an impediment, for mumuksha, and therefore I need to clear the path of this mumuksha first. I need to make this mumuksha clean path. And the path of mumuksha should be made clean. Remove all the thorns, all the obstacles over there. And therefore, Purvam. Now, what have we seen so far earlier? Naishkarma Siddhaye, for the sake of accomplishment of moksha. Naishkarya siddhaye, one, mithyachara nivrittaye, in order to save yourself from living a double standard life. Okay, mithyachara nivrittaye, because then with that double standard, one will always have something to hide. There will always be something to hide, and therefore the person will always live under insecurity. That way, this thing should not be known. Something to always keep secret, and therefore mithyachara nivrittaye. So let the life be like a clean stream coming forest, crystal clear. Sharira yatra siddhaye. And for the sake of this journey of this body, journey of the life also to be properly accomplished. Sharira yatra siddhaye. Sharira yatra means not like Char Dham yatra. People come for Char Dham yatra. Yatra means the pilgrimage, the journey. Then Char Dham yatra means to go and see the 4 shrines in Himalayas, Gangotri, Yamunotri, Kedar and Badri. So what is Sharira Yatra? The pilgrimage done in order to attain the body. No. Sharira Yatra does not mean something like Char Dham Yatra. Then what is it? The yatra of the body. From morning to evening and from birth to death. There is the yatra. The sharir is in a constant state of, movement. It is moving from one point to another point, whether in space or in time. It is moving. How do you know that? Let us say that we divide our life as let's say, as the studenthood, adulthood, and then the age of retirement, and then finally, even up to this point, okay, and then is sannyas actually. So if the person has completed his first 20 years of life properly, from point that he started getting educated till the point where it finishes his formal education, if he participates in that program full-heartedly, if he participates in the program, school, college, going to the university, or doing his semesters and not passing, by copying and cheating, all these things, if he does that, then you know that this journey, his journey as a student, was a very fulfilling journey. Then journey as an adult of making the career, building the career, having a family, raising the children, giving them the right values, and creating human beings who are responsible, so on and so forth. Now, this is going to be your life. This segment is fulfilling the Sharira Yatra. So now this from one station to the next station, from next station to the furthest next station, you have to reach the destination. This is the journey of the body, from birth to death. For the sake of the Sharira Yatra to be properly accomplished with fulfilling, you have to do the karma. So how many reasons have you found? Bhagavan Shri Krishna has actually enumerated for performing karma, which means doing the karma yoga. What are those? Naishkarmya siddhaye, मिथ्याचार निवृत्तये, शरीर यात्रा सिद्धये, कर्म कर्तव्यम. कर्म कर्तव्यम. न तु त्यक्तुं योग्यम, न तु त्याज्यम, किंतु कर्तव्यम एव. कर्म कर्तव्यम इति उक्त्वा. This is what was said. Idanim, now, what is it that we are going to discover in the next shloka that we are going to follow? Idanim dharmajya samaya pramanam iti sutroktaritya dharmajyatamena brahmana proktaha pramanikoyam dharmo dharmaha मुमुक्षूणाम अवश्यम कर्तव्यः इंद्रादि देवता प्रसाद सिद्धये इत्याह सह यज्ञ इति द्वाभ्या. So the next two shlokas are meant to convey this particular message, and that is idanim dharmajna samaya pramanam. There is a sutra which says that whatever are the conclusions established by someone who knows the subtleties of righteous living. Dharma is known by someone. So the one who knows dharma is called as dharmajna. Dharmajna samaya. Samaya means siddhanta. Dharmajna samaya, the conclusions reached by a person who knows the very sukshmatara secrets of dharma. So whatever are his conclusion is, one should do this. Why should you do this? Because that is how the dharma works in you. That you need not know. All that you know is this is the conclusion. Do this, don't do this. But since he is a dharmajna, him asking you to do this has an implication for you. Has an implication for you. So dharmajna samaya pramanam. Then whatever are his conclusions of that dharmajna purusha are something that is pramanam. Is standard established. Okay? Is an standard that is established. So dharmajna samaya pramanam. This is said about somebody who understands the intricacies of dharma. Iti sutroktaritya dharmajyatamena brahmana. Now what to talk about? Brahmadeva, Hiranyagarbha, Brahmadeva, Chaturmukha Brahma. He is not just dharmajna, he is dharmajyatamena, the one who understands dharma to its final and finest points. Okay? When it is said, told to you, don't kill. So the general what will be, do not kill, don't kill. Mahim syat, don't kill. So all that you understand is don't kill. But why not to kill? Hey, I love killing, because, after killing, then I can roast it or whatever in the, and when put my teeth into the flesh, that cooked flesh and all, whatever he is saying. No, don't kill it. You may like it, But by killing, what happens not only to that animal or whatever is getting killed, but what happens to you is also important. Just don't think, well, when I kill, I get to eat like chicken. That's not the only thing. What happens to you as a result of that is also equally important. Is also important. Do you know what happens to you as a result of that? Oh no, I'm very pleased. Don't go only up to there, because the implication of that action, which is there on your mind immediately and which is going to come as the adrishta phalam, is not known to you, but this adrishtam, drishtam, everything is known to this dharma Brahma. And therefore, when he is going to give you what to do, what not to do, it is indeed Pramanam. It is Pramanam, Parama Pramanam. Iti. Okay. Dharmashyatavena Brahmana Proktaha Pramanikoyam Paramo Dharmaha Mumukshunam Avashyam Kartavyaha. And therefore, abiding by Dharma is something that a mumukshu should avashyam kartavya, should do without without even creating any options in the mind. No, avashyam. There is no option whether I should do it or not. This is the only thing to be done, like that. Mumukshunam avashyam kartavyaha. Indradi devata prasada siddhaye. Because that will even when you live by dharma, it will bring the propitiation of the divinities, which are expressions of Ishvara in the totality. And therefore, Indradi Devata Prasada Siddhaye Ityaha Saha Yajna Iti Tvabhyam. So now, by living the Vaidika life, the scriptural life, and doing even the rituals which are prescribed as something that one needs to do, Nitya karmas, Nitya Naimittika Sandhyavandanam or Yajnadi karma, that is what is meant, which will propitiate the deities also. Ityaha Saha Yajna Iti Dvabhyam. So the next two shlokas is what we are going to see here. Saha Yajna Praja Srishtva Saha Yajna Praja Srishtva Purovacha Prajapatihi Purovacha Prajapatihi Anena Prasavishyatvam Anena Prasavishyatvam Eshavostvishtakamado Eshavostvishtakamado Sahayajna Prajastashtva. Now, ever since the human being has come into existence, meaning what? Ever since there is the dawn of humanity, ever since the dawn of humanity, meaning from the point you recognize Manushoham. Since when? Before that, were you recognizing yourself? I am a wolf, I am a earthworm or anything? No. So ever since there is this knowledge, there is this awareness that I am a human being. And ever since this has dawned on this in this world, so Pura, from that point itself, liberation already existed, because no problem ever comes without a solution. There is no problem without a solution. So I'm a Kartauta Jiva. So with this Jivatva bondage, even the scheme for liberation also has been in existence. Since when? Ever since. And therefore, Pura Uvach, then this also that what will liberate also needs to be known to you. Just its existence is not sufficient. It needs to be known to you. And when it is known, now you can choose to take that course which will liberate, loosen the bondage and liberate you, not take the course which will strengthen the bondage and keep you bound to suffering. Right? So over here, Puravacha Prajapati. Now, how has this Praja, the whole humanity come into existence? Along with that Yash, along with the Yajna. Now, the word Yajna in this particular verse does not mean Vishnu. It means the Vedic rituals. Huh? The Vedic ritual. Pura Srishyado, Pura means in the very beginning of this world. Srishyadi means Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. Brahma, Srishtva. Yajnai means Shruti, just having, like a fire pit and grace as Yashi. It will be called as Yashi only when it becomes a proper step-by-step ritual. So, Srishtayado, and when performed by its rules and regulations, performed by its rules and regulations, otherwise it will become only bonfire. Shruti Uktaihi Yashyaihi Sapraja Brahmanadi Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is how we find the world, the whole population is also divided. So divided in the sense with this prominence of these qualities, etc. Brahmanadi Varnan Srishtva Tah Prajaha Uvacha. Now this Prajapati thus said. What did he said? Yuyam Anena Yashnena Shrautena Smartena. Now you all, this is being said to whom? To the Praja which is created, to the humanity. This is what he is. These are the words of that Prajapati, of that creator. He says, Yajnena Shrautena Smartena Cha Prasavishatam. By living this scriptural life of doing the rituals, etc. Smartena Prasavishatam. Now you expand. Okay. Vriddhim Kuru. Vriddhim. Prasavishyadva means Vriddhim Kuru. Sharu Purodasha. Puroda Dravyehi Devanam Pritim Utpadayatvam. Now by offering the various oblations in the fire, etc., you propitiate those divinities who are in charge of all this in totality. Devanam Pritim Utpadayatvam. Esha Devuddishya Shraddhaya Kurtu Yajnopi. When this yajna, which is meant to propitiate these various gods, Gods in the sense divinities, which are expressions of Parameshwara, which are expressions of Parameshwara. Huh? Esha devanuddishya shraddhaya kruto yajñopi vaha ishtan ichhaya vishayabhutan kamyante iti kamaha phalavisheshaha tantu. Now this Prajapati said, when you are going to thus follow the life of dharma, living the dharmic life, performing all your actions as prescribed by the scriptures, and framing your life and actions in the scriptural way by living the ritualistic life. Now what happens? It will, this itself, this karma shall become your wish fulfilling cow, which gives you the fulfillment of every wish by giving you that object of your desires, fulfills all your desires. So it is what? A wish fulfilling cow. In Hinduism, we have a concept of kamadhenu, ishtakamadu. Kamadhenu means, now there is this cow which has the capacity of of giving every object. You can milk anything from this cow, whatever you desire, as if the cow is being milked in the pot below, in the bucket below, the milk is collected. Now, whatever you desire is going to fall in your lap. How? This karma, this life, living the Vaidika life, living scriptural life, is what is the Kamadhenu. This is the Kamadhenu. Will give you whatever you want. What is wanted by you? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the four Purushashtras. Whatever is being pursued by you will be given to you. So thus you will find that your life is really indeed is accomplished when you follow the path of karma, understanding how to do the karma. So Dobdhi Ishtakamadu Bhavatu. May this karma become your Kamadhenu. May it become your wish fulfilling cow. Generally, they say there is a wish fulfilling tree or a wish fulfilling jewel or something like that, Chintamani or Kalpavriksha. But we are talking about a wish fulfilling cow. And so it will become your wish fulfilling cow. Nishkamana. And those who now are nishkama, who want to get rid of all this desires and give themselves totally to the pursuit of knowledge, for such people, nishkamanam jnana pratibandhaka duritakshayaya. How, in what way this karma will help these people? For those people who have certain desires, let it become a scheme to fulfill their desires without creating any path. But for the people who are nishkama, for those people, it will become also a wish fulfilling cow. How? By removing those obstacles on the path of knowledge. Whatever was preventing the knowledge, the direct experience from taking place, jnana pratibandhaka duritakshayaya, it will slowly deteriorate all those factors which were preventing the knowledge, the enlightenment from taking place. Duritakshayaya. And sakamanam, for nishkama, this is what is how the karma will work. And for sakama people, those who are with desires, Swarga Sukhaya Bhave. Let it become as the cause for your heavenly pleasure, joys of heaven. It will take you there. And therefore, karma is avashyakam and not relinquished just like that. Okay? So this is very, very important. So the next shloka is a part of what we have already seen, and we will see something more about just this, how this Prajapati has given this particular thing and this life of Yajna, this Yajna living that scriptural life by doing your prescribed duties of the day, etc., daily things, obligatory. How will that become? How will that become your path to liberation is now being shown in the next verse, and we will see that tomorrow. In our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Thank you, friends. Thank you all.